Welcome back to Unlock Your True Potential, your home of transformation, inspiration, and unstoppable motivation. If you're new here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss the stories that help you rise higher, think bigger, and live bolder. Today, we dive into one of the most iconic success stories of our time, the story of Steve Jobs, a man whose vision reshaped the world, whose focus defied all odds, and whose relentless innovation transformed how we live, work, and dream. This is not just a story about technology or business. It's a story about human potential, about how one person's vision and belief can create a revolution. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's journey through the life and lessons of the man who dared to think different, Steve Jobs. Before he became the co-founder of Apple, before he became a billionaire, before he changed the world, Steve Jobs was just a curious kid with a wild imagination. Born in 1955, adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs, Steve grew up in California, the heart of what would one day become Silicon Valley. But at that time, it was just a place filled with garages, dreamers, and people who believed in the power of possibility. Jobs was never the traditional student. He was restless, rebellious, and deeply curious. He once said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." And even as a boy, that hunger to know more, to question the rules, was already burning inside him. He dropped out of college, not because he didn't love learning, but because he hated wasting time on things that didn't inspire him. Instead, he began to explore calligraphy classes, design, and spirituality. And those seemingly random choices would later shape the soul of Apple: simplicity, beauty, and purpose in every product. In 1976, in his parents' garage, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak built the first Apple computer. It was not fancy. It didn't look like a billion-dollar idea. But what it had was heart. Jobs wasn't just trying to build a computer. He wanted to build a future where technology was not for engineers, but for everyone. While Wozniak was the technical genius, Jobs was the visionary. He saw what others couldn't see, a future where computers would empower people to create, connect, and express. This vision became the soul of Apple. But vision alone wasn't enough. Jobs had to fight for it. He had to convince investors, partners, and a skeptical world that what he saw was possible. And that's one of the first great lessons from Steve Jobs. Right finger, you don't need everyone to believe in your vision. You just need to believe in it enough to make it real. The Apple II became a massive success. Overnight, Jobs went from a 20-year-old dreamer to a millionaire. But success didn't stop him. It only made his vision bigger. Then came the storm. By 1985, just 9 years after founding Apple, Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. Imagine that. Being thrown out of the very company you built from your heart. For many, that would have been the end. But for Jobs, it became the turning point. He once said in his famous Stanford speech, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." It freed him to start again, to rediscover what truly mattered. He founded Next, a new computer company, and later bought a small animation studio, which would become Pixar. Pixar went on to create Toy Story, and change the world of animation forever. So what's the lesson here? Sometimes, life's greatest rejections are just redirections. When one door closes, it's not the end, it's an invitation to find a better path, to create something new. Jobs didn't let failure define him. He let it refine him. In 1997, Apple was struggling. The company was on the brink of collapse. The brand that Jobs had started was now losing its soul. And that's when life brought him back. Apple bought Next, and with it, Steve Jobs returned. This time not as a rebellious founder, but as a visionary leader. He brought with him the lessons of failure, the discipline of focus, and the courage to simplify. He looked at Apple's product line and said, "We're doing too many things. Let's focus on what really matters." That became the turning point for Apple, and perhaps one of the greatest comebacks in business history. He launched the iMac, then the iPod, then the iPhone. Each product wasn't just a gadget, it was a statement. A belief that technology can be beautiful, intuitive, and deeply human. Jobs believed in focus, doing fewer things, but doing them better than anyone else. He once said, "Focus is about saying no." That's what gave Apple its magic, simplicity, elegance, and perfection. Steve Jobs didn't just sell products, he sold dreams. He understood that true innovation begins with empathy, understanding what people don't even know they need yet. That's why when he launched the iPhone, he didn't call it a phone. He called it an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator, all in one. He saw beyond technology. He saw a world where creativity meets function, where design meets purpose. He said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Jobs was not perfect. He was intense, demanding, and sometimes harsh. But what drove him was not ego, it was passion. He demanded excellence, not because he wanted control, but because he wanted creation. He believed that if you're going to put something into the world, it should be worthy of your name. And that's a message for every dreamer listening right now. If you're going to do something, do it with love, do it with obsession, and do it with purpose. In 2011, Steve Jobs passed away. but his ideas didn't. Because true visionaries don't die. Their work continues to speak long after they're gone. Apple is still guided by his principles. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Design is not just how it looks, but how it works. Focus is the key to greatness. Steve Jobs' life is a powerful reminder that success isn't about never failing. It's about never stopping. He turned setbacks into setups. He turned rejections into revolutions. He turned his passion into purpose. And that's what made him extraordinary. So what can we learn from Steve Jobs? We learn that vision is not seeing what is. It's seeing what could be. We learn that focus is not about doing more. It's about doing what truly matters. And we learn that innovation begins with belief. Belief in yourself. Belief in your dream. Belief in your ability to make a difference. You have the same power within you. The power to dream. The power to create. The power to change the world in your own unique way. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. So don't wait for permission. Don't fear failure. Don't hide your brilliance. Go out there and unlock your true potential." If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, comment your biggest takeaway, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that failure is not the end. It's just the beginning. And remember, every week we bring you powerful stories, lessons, and insights to help you grow into your best self. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because your journey to greatness starts right here, right now, on Unlock Your True Potential.